So I'm going to start a porch leaner. We'll be doing a class, maybe a paint night or a Saturday afternoon. I just got my supplies together. I have my board, the paints that I'm going to be using, and a selection of brushes. And so here I go. So I'm just trying to make this not too, I want it to look more weathered looking. So I'm just putting a bit of paint on and trying to spread it as much as I can, a little bit thinner. So I'm not going to talk too much because I'm just going to go ahead and paint. I'll put this on speed up so you guys can see it real quick. But keep watching the site for an invitation. When the date's going to be, it'll be soon, probably within the next couple of weeks. So you'll have a chance to do it. They're limited seating in my studio. I only have room for 6 people, and you can see this is fairly large. So there's only 2 to a table. So lots of personal instruction and fun to be had. So this goes quite quickly, actually. Love seeing the lines and the marks in the wood. I think it looks really pretty. So I also have a private studio for art students that are looking to take watercolor lessons. I will do larger size classes, 4 to 6 at the most, but I also do private instruction. So keep an eye out for that. There's other things coming down the pike. We're going to be doing some fun crafts for Christmas time as well. So now this is the paint. I like it. It's nice and thin. So I'm going to just blow it dry. It's a little noisy. I'll probably try and turn the sound off at this point. So when you're testing to see if your paint is dry, it should not feel cool to the touch. If it's still cool to the touch, it's probably still a little damp. But because I'll try a mid-size. This one is, what size is it? 8. So you want a fairly sharp chiseled brush, so it has a nice sharp point to it. Or you can use an angled brush. So I'm just going to create the tree. We're just going to go down in a line. So I know it's wiggly, don't worry about that. The one nice thing about acrylic paints is you can make all the changes you want. You let the paint dry and presto, you can paint over it. So now I'm putting on the black for the trunk, and I want it fairly thick to make it stand out. So the background is lovely, it looks like a snow. little thick at the top. I think if I was going to do it again, I might have made this a little thinner. I might even come in later and take out some of this with some white. Or maybe I'll try it with my wet cloth. It's always good to have a wet cloth, right? Yep, look at that. Took it out really well. There. Enough. Take out enough that if I come over that with white paint again, pardon me, it will clean it up. Oops, look at that. I keep there. So make that nice and dark. And your tree is always thicker at the bottom. So just make that a little bit thicker. Okay, I'm going to mix in a little bit of brown. Now I'm going to pretend my daylight is going to come from this side. So I'm going to make my shadow colors over here and just add in a few strokes, making the tree look a little rounder, a little bit different color. Right now the black is quite wet, so it'll blend in there. You can see where this is my daylight coming in from the other side. You actually use very little paint. I'm surprised in one way that it's as you use as little as you do. Did you know that acrylic paint tends to dry darker than what it does going on, and watercolor paints tend to dry lighter? Don't worry if this looks a little sparse, but because once we mix some of the greens with the dark and the light, it will really fill it out. Now putting the dark and light green will do the same thing as what we did with the tree trunk. It will help to make, as the tree trunk helps it make look rounder, this will add some depth and color to the branches. Okay, so now I'm going to take a little bit of this and I'm just mixing it. These are like inexpensive. I got these at the dollar store, the little trays. So a little bit of dark green. And we're just going to add these in, not everywhere, just in a few spots. Maybe where you think the shadows are going to be. Maybe more on this side than on that side. A little more on the unders. And just add a little depth and color and whatnot to the It's easy to get carried away with this and just keep stabbing away at all the more branches. Okay, so there's the dark put in. A little bit of this black on my brush. And I'm going to take, this might be a little tricky, maybe I'll use this little spot here. I'm going to add a little bit of green. Just a little. Oops, I'm making a mess. Anybody else messy? Okay, so there's a little bit of light green. I don't want too much because with the white background it's not going to show a lot. Maybe not even enough. But already with the dark and a little bit of light stuck in, maybe a few lights down on the branches or on the trunk. If you can, place your light next to your darks. That makes it stand out a little more. So I'm trying to make my lights more on the upper side where the sun is maybe catching. There, I like that. Oops, did I miss this one altogether? I can go back, I can fix it. So the bottom ones would have a few, but not tons. Right. Now, what if I was going to take and make a couple of little dead branches, maybe some without. Fill it in, make it look a little bushier. I might actually put leaves on that one or needles on that. These are getting a little I'm liking this so far. Out. You didn't know you'd be finger painting, did you? Because I love snow, I am just gonna add in a bit of snow at the bottom. Let's just make it a little snowier. You could even add snow onto the branches if you wanted to, which would be kind of cool too. Anyway, so that's the class. I hope you will keep an eye out for it. contact us, book your spot. Like I said, there's very few spots. It's 6 places, probably 2 nights or 2 afternoons, or an afternoon and evening. We haven't decided yet. But yeah, get a hold of us. We're waiting to hear from you.